with the admission fee, which was we asked for a $1 donation at the holiday festival. We certainly have never, ever in my 23 years turned anyone away.
That's awesome.
So,
Thank you.
And then the $2 is a meal, which is optional if you like to buy it while you're here for the trunk to trunk.
Okay.
But
thank you.
if you participate with your trunk full of candy, then we feed you for free, and whoever's in your car. Anybody else? Thank you.
I'm Officer Dooley with the Sheriff's Office. I've been temporarily assigned to patrol for a little while, but I'm back now, so I missed the last meeting, unfortunately. Not too much has been going on in the town. We had a couple more thefts from vehicles, but that slowed down greatly from what it has been in the past, fortunately. Both of those thefts from vehicles were, again, from unlocked doors on the vehicles, so we're asking everybody, lock your doors, secure your valuables. If you see anything after hours that looks suspicious, please call the non-emergency number at 301-932-2222 as well. Halloween's coming up. Just a few safety tips. Everybody knows the usual ones. Instruct your children not to enter strange people's cars or homes. Inspect your children's candy and everything like that. The thing I wanted to focus on was I actually found this out recently too. I didn't know this, but apparently Halloween is the one day of the year where children are twice as likely to be hit by a car than any other day. 4th of July is the second one, obviously. But so a couple things on that front. We're asking all of our drivers to basically watch for children walking on roadways, medians, and curbs. Be extra careful when you're entering and exiting driveways. And watch for children in dark clothing. Obviously, a lot of the costumes are dark, and there's really no reflecting tape or anything on them. That's one thing you can do for your kids. They actually sell cheap reflective tape that you can put on their costumes, and it'll make them easier to see. And then if you have a new driver, somebody that's learning how to drive, that might not be the best time of year for them to learn how to. So just a few things to think about. And like I said, I didn't even think of that as far as the more likely to be in an accident. So that's about all I had. Did anybody have any questions?
Officer Dooley, I do have a question. Individuals do a lot of shopping online, and we get packages delivered to our homes. Is there any guidance that you can think of to prevent what are called porch pirates, people stealing packages off the porch?
Yeah, and I usually give a few safety tips every year around the holiday season because that's around when package deliveries pick up and all that stuff. So the best thing you can do is if you know you're having a package delivered and you're not going to be able to be there for several hours, either get in touch with one of your neighbors that stays home and kind of work with your neighbors to pick up each other's packages. That way they're not sitting on the porch tempting people. And then the other option is get in touch with the actual package carrier, the handler. You can call UPS or FedEx or whoever, and they can actually hold the package at their sorting facility.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, sir. Good to know. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Moving on. Tonight we have no briefings, no presentations or recognitions, no resolutions. We do have 2 ordinances for introduction. Annie?
Okay. The first ordinance is ordinance number 10-01-18, introduced by Mayor and Council. Date introduced October 1st, 2018. Date adopted is tentatively November 5th, which would be our next town meeting. If adopted at that time, it would become effective on November 25th. It is an ordinance concerning revision of rental license fees for the purpose of revising the Town of Indian Head fees for rental license operating and inspection fees by repealing and reenacting with amendments Code of the Town of Indian Head 1990 edition as amended, Chapter 105, Rentals for Human Habitation, Section 105-5. Essentially what this does is it increases the fee from $50 to $75. But I'm still going to read you the little bit that's in here. Chapter 105, Rentals for Human Habitation, Section 105-5, License and Inspection Fees. Subject to subsection 105-9B of this chapter, the operating license fee shall be $75. The fee shall be paid in advance of issuance of the license or renewal. Every applicant and licensee shall pay a fee to the town for each inspection or reinspection conducted pursuant to this chapter. The inspection fee shall be $75 for the inspection or reinspection of each dwelling, except that where multiple dwelling units are located within a dwelling, the fee shall be $75 for the inspection or reinspection of each dwelling unit within that dwelling. The inspection fee in connection with an application for the issuance or renewal of an operating license is due and payable with the filing of the application. Except as otherwise provided in this chapter, the inspection fee for all other inspections or re-inspections is due and payable upon completion of the inspection. The ordinance shall become effective at the expiration of 20 calendar days after its approval. And people that own rental properties are required to have a rental license in town, and they are required to renew it every 2 years. The next one. Okay. Ordinance number 10-02-18, introduced by Mayor and Council, date introduced October 1st, 2018. Date adopted is also tentatively November 5th, 2018, which would make it effective on November 25th, 2018. An ordinance concerning ethics ordinance revisions for the purpose of amending the ethics ordinance for the town of Indian Head to make certain modifications required by the State Ethics Commission to comply with requirements of Maryland law, modifying certain financial disclosure requirements for elected officials and candidates for election to town office, and matters relating to the town of Indian Head ethics ordinance, by repealing and reenacting with amendments Chapter 15 Ethics Code of Sections 15-4 and 15-5, Code of the Town of Indian Head, 1990 edition as amended. Be it enacted by the Council of the Town of Indian Head that Sections 15-4 and 15-5 of Chapter 15 Ethics Code of the Code of the Town of Indian Head, 1990 edition as amended, be and they are hereby repealed and reenacted with amendments to read as follows. I'm just going to read you the amended portion so you don't have to sit through the entire thing. So 15-5 is conflicts of interest. The amended portion is a former regulated lobbyist who is or becomes subject to this chapter as an employee or an official other than as elected official or an appointed official may not participate in a case, contract, or other specific matter as an employee or official other than an elected official or appointed official for 1 calendar year after the termination of the resignation of the former regulated lobbyist if the former regulated lobbyist previously assisted or represented another party for compensation in the matter. A former elected official may not assist or represent another party for compensation in a matter that is the subject of legislative action for 1 calendar year after the elected official leaves office. Section 15-6 is financial disclosure, elected officials and candidates to be town elected officials. Financial disclosure statements shall be made available during normal office hours for examination and copying by the public, subject to reasonable fees established by the town and administrative procedures established by the commission. Notwithstanding the foregoing, the commission may not make available for examination and copying by the public any portion of a financial disclosure statement that contains the home address of an individual. For a statement filed on or after January 1st, 2019, if the individual's spouse is a regulated lobbyist, the statement shall include the name and address of the entity that was engaged the spouse for lobbying purposes. For the purposes of this section, interest does not include a mutual fund or exchange-traded fund that is publicly traded on a national scale unless the mutual fund or exchange-traded fund is composed primarily of holdings of stocks and interests in a specific sector or area that is regulated by the individual's governmental unit. Be it further enacted that this ordinance shall become effective at the expiration of 20 calendar days after its approval by the council or upon approval by the State Ethics Commission, whichever occurs last.
Any questions? It's state mandated changes to our ethics ordinance. Any questions? All right, seeing none, we'll continue on. No petitions, no unfinished business, no new business, and on to miscellaneous. Announcement of upcoming events. The 13th Annual Breast Cancer Awareness and Fitness Walk will be Saturday, October 6th, 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Village Green Park and Pavilion. As Karen previously stated, Community Activities Committee meeting will not be meeting in October. Town Council work session will be Wednesday, October 17th, 3:30 p.m. at Town Hall. Planning Commission will be Wednesday, October 17th, 7 p.m. at the Village Green Pavilion. General election early voting, October 25th through November 1st, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Glen Eagles Rec Center in Waldorf for La Plata Firehouse La Plata. Parks and Recreation Commission and Environmental Sustainability Committees will both meet on October 24th, 7 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. concurrently. Annual trunk-to-trunk trick-or-treating, that's a tongue twister, Wednesday, October 31st, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. A third annual joint Christmas craft fair with Indian Head Volunteer Fire Department Auxiliary and Town Community Activities Committee will be Saturday, November 3rd, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Town meeting will be Monday, November 5th, 7:30 p.m. at the Village Green Pavilion. Election day will be Tuesday, November 6th, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Village Green Pavilion. Polling place for Precinct 7-2, and Farmers Market will be Sundays 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Thursdays 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. until November 18th, right behind us. Whew. All right. So, and if you didn't get all that, it's on the back of the agenda, on the back table. All right. Moving on, move to citizens' comments. So if you have a comment, please approach the microphone. State your name, residency, and your comment.
Vivian Elder, 88 Mattingly Avenue. One quick question. Speed cameras in front of the school, are they permanent or are they going to be like the ones at Smallwood that, oh man, we need to get permanent ones there. And then two things for, I don't know if you remember Ryan or not, but you came out to my house, I think it was 2 years ago, because I have a problem with stuff growing from the neighbor's yard over into mine. And you said it was a neighbor-to-neighbor problem, and it hasn't been solved. So is there any other kind of recourse that I have?
I don't know. I'm going to speak with the officer and you afterwards, and we'll see. I don't
Okay.
believe the town can get involved because it's the two neighbors that are having the issue, but maybe officer could point us in the right direction as to what we should and shouldn't do.
Yeah, I just didn't know if there was any other kind of recourse I could do. And have you guys ever considered putting a yellow line down Mattingly Avenue? Because I am really tired of getting run off the road by those guys hauling boats down to the dock. Is it something that we could take under consideration? I'd appreciate it. Thank you. That's all I have tonight.
Good evening. Kenneth Wayne Thompson, Assistant Director, Charles County Public Library. Thanks for having me. I'd like to share a few programs that are going on at the Potomac Branch Library. On October 8th from 6 to 7 p.m., the College of Southern Maryland will be there helping you apply for college, going through the admissions process, choosing a program if you're transferring college credits and financial aid. That program is free. On October 2nd, we will have a program in honor of domestic violence. The Center for Abused Persons will focus on violence prevention and awareness, also at the Potomac Branch Library. All programs are free. You get where I'm going with this, right? Also on October 11th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Job Source Mobile Career Center will be available outside the branch to offer employment assistance. There are limited workstations on the Career Center mobile, but if you have a laptop or another device, there is a hotspot to help you out. And finally, on October 22nd, also at Potomac from 6 to 7:30, they're sponsoring a program on featuring veterans benefits. So if you have someone you know that's a veteran and they want to know if they have access to veterans benefits, the spouse or someone, there'll be several people there to walk you through the process to help you know what you are eligible for. And lastly, I'd like you to check out our new website, ccplonline.org, ccplonline.org. It has all of these programs that are at Potomac in addition to programs at the other branches throughout the system. And there are a few new program guides on the table. I'm available if anyone has a question about any of these programs or any other services that the library offers or something you'd like to see at your library. Okay, thanks.
Good evening, everyone. I am Linda Heipel. I am the program coordinator at the Charles County Literacy Council. Also with me today is Sharma Egner, our outreach coordinator. I'd like to thank you for allowing me this opportunity to talk about the Charles County Literacy Council. We've been serving in Charles County for over 50 years. We serve the Charles County adults 18 and over who need, desire to improve their reading, spelling, math skills, who need assistance for preparation to earn their GED or to enter into the military, as well as citizenship and English as another language. And before I go on, I just want to ask you, can you simply imagine not being able to read? Can you imagine the fear you would experience when your support person who helped you read at work has left? Can you imagine not being able to fill out a job application? Or how about when your own children exceed your abilities and no longer can help them with their homework, or cannot read them stories? Receiving emails at work and the fear of not being able to understand them properly or write back in a professional manner. Well, how about you manage to work for many years, you function at your job, but you're hiding a secret. You retire and you say to yourself, now it's my time at last to learn to read. These are all examples of adult learners who reach out to us. And it was hard for them to make that call. Adults don't hesitate to say, where is there a place I can get food because I am hungry? But there is a big hesitation, a stigma to say, I need help, I can't read. Adults have great coping mechanisms. We find all sorts of ways to get by, to hide our lack of reading skills. And the vast majority of our adult learners are women. Our adult learners' ages range in 18, which is usually for the military exam, to our oldest, who is at 79. There are many statistics to show the functional illiterate right here in Charles County, and we are here to help them. Since 1964, we have helped them in a confidential, one-on-one tutoring. In 1987, we became a 501(c)(3) organization, and in 1988, we hired our first part-time coordinator, which allowed the opportunity to attract and get tutors. So for every adult learner, we need a tutor. And if you can read, we can train you to tutor. If you have the desire to make an impact on someone's life, we're here for you. It's approximately 1 hour a week. There is a training workshop. We provide all the instructional materials you need. We follow the Logbook way of reading, and for math, the Breakthrough to Math. They're very successful, proven programs. While we do have a small workshop fee to cover some of the expenses, we provide everything for free, and there's no other cost to the tutors or to our adult learners. Tutoring is generally done in libraries, but it can be in any location other than a home that is convenient for both the adult learner. CCLC does not dictate the when and the where. It's part of the relationship that is established between the adult learner and the tutor. If you wonder how the process works, it's very simple. An individual reaches out to CCLC, which would be myself, and I contact an assessor. They meet, they discuss, they do a little assessment needs, and they submit a report to me where I then proceed to find a tutor. For the past 50 years, we've had success stories, such as from those who have earned their citizenship, to those who wanted to get into CSM and finally did, to those who did get that better job, to finally being able to read and get that library card they've been desiring, to the individuals who stood at their church and finally could read a scripture, to feeling confident enough to register to vote for the first time, and to understand and follow their doctor's orders. These are just, and to all our many adult learners who move from one level to another, the thrill that they get. These are just examples. How do we do this? Well, we operate on a budget of approximately $34,000. We are primarily a volunteer nonprofit. with volunteers providing 3,000 hours a year. In order to fund our program and continue our mission of free adult tutors, we must receive revenue sources. We have been fortunate to have been awarded 2 grants, one from the Charles County Charitable Trust and the other from the United Way Community Impact Program, which has allowed us the opportunity to be able to hire our outreach coordinator. It's imperative that we have means of reaching out to all areas of Charles County. These grants alone do not sustain us, so we're part of the CFC, the Combined Federal Program, and the MCC, the Maryland Government Employees Giving Program. We do a year-end campaign drive, and we begin to focus on our major fundraiser. We're very excited that we had our very first adult team spelling bee this year. We were very excited that it turned out so successful, and it gives us a wonderful base to grow on, so we'll be continuing with the bee. So as I like to say, it's a circle. Adult learners, tutors, and funding. If you wonder how you can help, you can spread the word to the people who you know may need our service. Spread the word to potential volunteer tutors, volunteer yourself, become a tutor, or make a tax-deductible organization. Sharma and I will be here if anyone has any questions. We'll be happy to answer. Thank you.
My name is David Tomanek. I live at 4395 Strauss Avenue. And probably along the lines of you were talking about the speed humps, I was going to mention that anyway, but the other road that I have a concern with is Blair Road. There are no lines on that road. People are constantly flying up and down there, and mostly if they're coming from down the street from like Riverside Run, they're in the middle of the road, they're on the wrong side of the road, and there's nothing to designate where they should be, and I think maybe some lines might be a good idea on that road. And even a posted speed limit, there's no posted speed limit on that road as well. I don't.
No posted speed limit?
It might be. I haven't seen one.
I'm almost sure there is, but we'll check in the morning.
There is, but I'm just trying to keep things like there's
Gotcha.
25 right there going in front of my house, and then, I don't know if it'd be worth it to put any